Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is just going to be a special midday reading. Um, this is going to be on Fani Willis, the Georgia election case, so on and so forth. So we finally got the answer. She has to make the choice of this is probably what that Eight of Swords was. She's restricted. She has to make a choice. She has to either have the special prosecutor Wade removed from the case, and then she can stay on and prosecute it, or she and her entire office can leave the case and leave Nathan Wade as the special prosecutor for it, and another district attorney will have to come in and take over the case. It's a pretty obvious choice what's going to happen. So that's what that Eight of Swords was looking at. Her restriction, she had to make a choice, and then we're getting like the Tower or the Six of Swords, the leaving card. That was the leaving was that in this case Nathan Wade is going to be asked to leave the case. It's interesting because I don't think in any of the readings I did, at least not the last few, I don't think I asked if Nathan Wade was going to leave. I asked if Fani was going to leave, but I never asked if Nathan Wade was going to leave. So, you need to ask all the questions, I suppose. One person had thrown in the comments that my pessimism was leading me to think Fani was going to leave. It was never pessimism. I'm not pessimistic about this at all. I have my logical brain. I can sort things through. I could not see where there was a logical reason to remove her from the case. On my community page, I posted up a fellow that was a lawyer in 2 different states, and he pointed out about the there's a code of ethics that you have to hold up to. Even Midas talked about that today, that the prosecutors are representing basically the state as well as the entire American justice system. And they have to be held to higher ethical standards than, say, a defense attorney. Because the defense attorney is to represent their client, but the prosecutor is representing the country. So, which is why, you watch Alina Habba do crazy stuff and say crazy things, and Letitia James has to conduct herself with decorum. Fani Willis doesn't mind getting down and dirty and lowering the decorum, as it were. And that's what one of the things the judge admonished her on. And there might be a partial gag order that's put on Fani Willis because he doesn't want her getting down into the mud and slinging mud with the defense attorneys. Hold yourself better. You're representing. Okay? So, what's the takeaway from all this? Trump's team got 6 counts reversed or tossed out. Fani Willis's office can refile them. Basically, there wasn't enough detail in those 6 filings to cite specifically what case law or the crime that was being committed. Again, Fani Willis can resubmit it, or they can say, we don't need these because we've got everything else. Trump's attorneys are claiming victory. Of course they are. There's no victory here. Okay, congratulations. You got a special prosecutor to resign from the case. That's what and you dragged her reputation through the mud. That's all you did. And if your case was to put on a PR case to cause Trump supporters to hate Fani Willis and not trust the American judicial system more, you've succeeded. Congratulations. Your clients are still guilty. And that will be proven in court. I could be wrong. They may be completely and utterly innocent and fully exonerated. 120% exonerated. Just like the Mueller report. That's why you're going to go to court to find out. Unfortunately, there appears to be a lot of evidence against you, and 3 lawyers of Trump's have already pled guilty. So how you're going to manage complete and total exoneration is going to be a wild story. The devil card just flipped up. Okay, so let's read the energy around Fani Willis, around Nathan Wade, and Donald Trump with regards to regards to this ruling and on the case. So this would be a quickie, except it's going to be a longie. So it's an afternoon delight instead of a quickie. Come on down. Let's see what we got going on. Entertainment purposes only. What's now the energy around this case? Queen of Pentacles. Mama's back in charge. Mama's got her baby in her lap, and Mama's going to take care of baby. It's a big baby. Okay. In some ways, I think, look at all these coins. I think this is a good lesson for Fani Willis. It's just a reminder that these cases are important and her actions are important. And, also what you're doing with your money and how you're doing things is important. I'm not saying she dodged a bullet here because I think that's overstating it. But it's just a reminder that this could be a recurring issue if you don't start taking big actions on it. Fani Willis is not going to be on the fast track to be a judge or a Supreme Court justice any soon if she keeps reacting the way she does. There's some maturing, or that part I was talking about, holding yourself to a higher ethical standard, which is what the judge was telling her. There's a truth to that. And if she wants to progress on her career beyond that of a fiery district attorney, if she wants to go more to being a judge, she needs to elevate her game in that regard. That's not a criticism of her. It's a point of weakness that she is being given an opportunity to address. That's where I'm going with that. This case is in her lap. It's a big case. She has the option, of course, to resign this position and such. But no, Mr. Wade's going to go. And even though some of the charges got removed, most of the charges are staying there. Apparently, she's very good at RICO cases. So Nathan Wade was kind of a cherry on top type of thing. But she's got this. Her case is going to be strong against him. I know I've got some viewers that will say this is complete BS, but you know what? It isn't. In the past, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, that one came up in that other reading, didn't it? Things are going to continue. Decisions were made. Choices were made with her and Nathan Wade. Whether they maintain their relationship or how the relationship is going, that's on them, whatever. But that's in the past. This uncertainty is in the past. The Wheel of Fortune in this case just might be that her rhetoric can get her into trouble. But also, I think what the Wheel of Fortune is saying is that when she testified and defended herself, that's what threw the energy over to her staying on this case. And the judge even commented something to the impact, or to the effect that the impact of her testimony on the case led him to believe that she was being honest and truthful. So, kudos for her for defending herself and not just rolling over. She's a fighter. This woman is a fighter. Do not cross her. Current situation is the Moon card. We are now clearing up the confusion. Now, that being said, I mentioned that half the people are going to like this ruling and half the people aren't going to like this ruling. Nobody likes this ruling. The people that support Fani Willis don't feel it's fair because Nathan Wade is going to be removed and the judge admonished her and humiliated her, and this never should have been brought up in the first place. The folks that are Trumpers are going to say it's completely unfair. The judge is biased. Fani Willis is kept on the case. She should be arrested and publicly executed on pay-per-view for ever, deeming to try and rip off the state of $100 or something along those lines. And that the fact that she's still on pisses them off, and Donald Trump has been fully exonerated and anointed king of the universe. In the end, both sides got a little bit of recognition. The judge's comment that he wanted to be able to look at his kids and said he gave everybody a fair shake appears to be what's going on in this case. Okay? That's being cleared up. This confusion is being cleared up. There's still going to be rabid crazies on both sides, but the case moves forward. Fani Willis is prosecuting that case. Ace of Cups overarching. A lot of passion in this case. Fani Willis, he got an Ace of Coins and the Ace of Cups. The defense is trying to make this a public relations case. That's what they do with all their cases involving Trump. They're all about public relations. It's not on the facts. The facts don't support Mr. Trump. He plays on people's emotions and their passions. And, the destruction to the reputation of the judicial system is palatable. But, maybe there is some corruption in the judicial system. It would be naive to think there isn't. And maybe that needs to be addressed. Maybe more laws will come out of this to hold folks more accountable on that one. But this is a big, strong emotional power play. And it's strong emotions on both sides on this issue. And her relationship, and it's all about, in this case, this whole thing's been about her relationships. They tried to make it about money, but the money's not there. It's about relationships. Lesson to be learned is the Two of Wands, the planning. We're going forward with the case. The case is moving forward. It's just moving forward. But it's also, for Fani Willis in the future, she's got to kind of look a little bit down the road and what action she's taking and the impact that they're going to have down the road. I don't know if she's a live for the moment kind of girl. Maybe she is, but she's got to look down the road a little bit further than what she's currently doing so she can avoid stuff like this. Avoid these two things. Okay, outcome is the Ten of Wands. The heavy lifting is now begun. There's going to the hard part with this case it's going to be a RICO case. It's going to be a case that needs to be proceed. But I think also the actions, the inquiry that was done, I shouldn't say actions, but the inquiry that's done in here, there's going to be some longer term consequences. Georgia's looking into her. They've got, who did they interview? What's this woman's name? Ashley Merchant was interviewed by some Georgia committee to look into Fani Willis. So there might be difficulties downstream for Fani Willis because of her relationship with Nathan Wade and how that looks. Now, one of the other things that they tried to make comment about this was that she and Nathan Wade were financially benefiting from this because he charged an hourly rate. This is the same same DA that's been trying to get a speedy trial going. So when they want to delay that trial so that they could keep billing on an hourly basis, lots and lots, thousands of more hours, and really bilk Georgia. Wouldn't that make more sense? It undercuts the argument that Miss Merchant was putting out there. And unsurprisingly, the judge discounted the defense's star witness, his testimony. Mr. Bradley just totally discounted his testimony. He's not credible. All right. How's Fani Willis feeling about this ruling? Judge... And honestly, I think the judge, should he have taken this up? We could debate that, but he took it up, and this was about as middle of the road decision that you could get. Both sides gained some stuff, both sides lost some stuff. The judge is trying to be fair and balanced. Give this judge may be a young judge. And maybe, if he had 20 years of bench experience, he may not have entertained this challenge in the first place. But he did entertain it, and I think he ruled as best he could on this one. Do not think that this judge is biased for Fani Willis. Do not think that this judge is biased for Donald Trump. I think it does intend to give everybody a fair shake. Just roll with that. Okay, how's Fani Willis feeling about this situation? Somebody's going to start looking down the road. I think the message came through. She may not have to karmically go through this again. She's looking forward to prosecuting this case, and I really do think that the judge's comments are going to resonate with her. Okay, 10 of Cups. She's going to look down. I think in the end, going through this event now with the judge benefits her career and her family life, her dating life and such going forward. There was something they had on. I thought she and Nathan Wade had broken up. Midas Touch was saying that she had testimony saying that she and Nathan Wade were closer than ever because of this. I don't know which is which. I'm just going to roll with it. She's going to have a happier life and a happier career because of this. This is just one of those hard lessons. It's kind of like life giving you a bump, reminding you that you need to stay on a certain path. If she's got a bigger future, and she may very well have a bigger future as in the legal profession and beyond, she needs to walk a very narrow path of integrity and not deviate from that and cause questions of her actions and behaviors. And I think that message came through. In the past, you got the 6 of Coins. Whether this is the judge donating to her campaign, I think this is just more her working with Nathan Wade, and she's looking at the prosecuting the big case and maybe missing some of the nuance of dating somebody that you work with type of thing. She might start paying more attention to that nuance going forward. Current situation is the Magician manifesting. Nathan Wade's going to be asked to leave, asked to resign. There's not going to be any hard feelings. He's going to understand it. But you done pissed off a black woman. A fiery one at that. That's all I'm going to say. The look that I can picture, the kind of the look that you're going to get. If looks could burst people into flames. You know the laser eyes they give Dark Brandon? It's something like that. Oh, yeah. Remember how this came up in the other reading on that same position? Oh, yeah. The Magician. The Magician and the Ace of Cups. She is going to pursue this case passionately. And trust me, she is going to enjoy every delicious moment of it. Mama's going to keep her emotions in check. Oh, how interesting. Because one of the things that the judge was upset about was, I guess there was an incident in the church where she was speaking out. This is probably going to be a gag order. There's going to be a gag order on her to keep her mouth shut. I'm being really blunt with that. That doesn't mean she can't talk. But she's not going to be talking about this case. And she's going to keep those emotions in check. And she will. But now it's going to just... The after party of this case is going to be amazing. That's all I would say with something like that. Strong emotions. I think she's learned her lesson. She's going to keep her public-facing commentary, acting more like Letitia James, and keeping that in check. I could be wrong. This could be blowing the emotions off everything. But I don't think that's the case. Not with that card there. And she is going to expose the truth. And she is going to revel in it. Well, you might wonder, why do we have to go through all this? This, again, might be one of those things that helps Fani Willis going forward with the rest of her career and in prosecuting this case. And let's be honest. the people that are going to be most upset with her being left on this case are really what they're upset about is Donald Trump's being held accountable for his actions. That's all it's going to be. So whether she was booted off or not, it was irrelevant because they would find something to complain about with the next DA that came in. Again, anything other than full exoneration and Donald Trump being named Emperor of the Galaxy is falling short. What's Nathan Wade's view on this ruling? Nathan Wade's view on this ruling. The Tower. Remember that card came out? Okay. And we start to see all the cards coming out. Yep, this is the end. Yeah. I don't want to say he saw it coming, but he saw it coming. I think he saw this one coming and he knew that this was going to be the likely outcome for him. I don't know if that impacts his relationship with Fani Willis, but it impacts his relationship with this case. And it's time to move on. Okay. Nope. Had a good run. This comes on. I've done my work here. There's other work I'll be doing. And he, too, is going to, learn that lesson of being a bit more forward-thinking. I think they were both guilty of not being very forward-thinking in how things were perceived. So they're both learning this. How interesting. They're both learning the same lesson from this. In the past, you got the Ten of Pentacles. His problem came in. It wasn't the hourly rate he was charging or the amount that he was charging. And I was going to lead in with this. Again, I heard on Midas Touch. They were talking about the judge saying that Nathan Wade there was some discrepancies or non-honesty with his financial disclosures during his divorce. And if you're willing to compromise some ethics with that, you could be tainting this case as well. The one thing that they did talk about on Midas Touch was that I guess his hourly rate isn't expensive relative to what you would normally pay for somebody of his expertise. But this is the whole thing about this coming down was about money and how, look at how money corrupts and Nathan Wade is corrupt. But that's in the past. So that's kind of one of the things he has to look out for is how things are going to be perceived, both relationship-wise as well as money-wise. What an interesting card to come up in the very same spot, the Magician card. He is going to transform, just like Fani Willis is going to be transformed, it's going to transform him as well. If they stay together as a couple, wow. Or if they're together as a couple where they're both going through this could break them up because they could become different people. But if they're going down the same path together and they transform together, this could be amazing. He'll have, he's going to have his opportunities too. And this might help him for the better as well. Three of Wands. He'll be looking for his next opportunity. He'll be leaving. The announcement hasn't happened yet, but, he understood that this was going to come to an end and that he'll be moving on. Yeah, it's talking about coming to an end. He's done with this case. It's probably premature. He was expecting to be able to stay on through the whole case, and now he's going to have to be, quote unquote, unemployed while he waits for the next case to come in, because they've assassinated his character in this case. And I'm kind of curious about Mr. Terrence Bradley too, but yeah, he knows his time is over. He'll be resigning. He will be resigning quickly. We probably should get. He should submit his resignation before the end of the day on Friday. It could be Monday, but honestly, he should do it on Friday. It should be immediate. From a public relations standpoint. The outcome is the Devil card. Trump getting what he wants the he's going to break up the duo of these people, and I think he gets the public relations victory that he wants with very little damage, and he got some charges tossed out. So he got a lot of what he wanted by corrupt means. And the devil could also be, this could be the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade relationship. It was not well thought out and what the consequences were. And because they weren't very forward thinking with it, there's consequences that have weakened their case from again, not so much from a legal point of view, but a public relations point of view. So they have to be careful about that, about the perception of what they do going forward with their court cases. But again, with that Two of Wands, and the Magician card for both of them, I really do get the feeling that the message was received. I think the judge, in a very weird way, Donald Trump's initiating this and the judge's evaluation and ruling on this is going to make both Fani Willis and Nathan Wade stronger in the end. It's getting them off a bad path that they might have gone down, or a corrupt or a corrupted path that they might go down. I'm not saying that they were actively engaged in corruption, but where I'm going with it is how Donald Trump tends to eat on the outsides of people's moral and ethic boundaries and then keeps nibbling all the way around the cookie till he gets to the center. They might have started going down that path themselves, rationalizing the stuff that they did. No, this is just a little unethical type of thing, and this might stop that dead cold. And so that they reestablish their ethics, and the erosion of that ethical behavior or lack of ethical behavior gets stopped. They got held accountable, and they got their wrist slapped and a warning. And I think both of them understand that they can't continue down the path that they might have been going down. I wonder how Donald Trump's feeling about this. Or do you guys wonder how Donald Trump's feeling about this? I wonder how Donald Trump's feeling about this. I looked at Truth Social. There was he didn't have any all cap rants on this. Apparently he tried to sell Truth Social to Elon in September of last year. Wonder why. Because the SPAC was held up. That's why. How's Donald Trump feeling about the judge's rulings here? Oh, Donald Trump feels that it was very fair and balanced. Okay. These rulings were fair and balanced. Donald Trump does not feel they. Well, maybe he does. He hasn't posted an all-cap rant on this one. But again, since Donald Trump, in his mind, is completely and totally innocent and should be exonerated and anointed king of the universe, I can't imagine that he thinks that this was a well thought out ruling by the judge. I'm not going to read this as Joe Biden. I'm going to read this as this to me is the high priestess. It's well thought out decision. It's fair. It's balanced. And this is the judge in the case, Judge McAfee. He did not let his emotions rule him. He tried to rule fair in a fair and balanced manner and take care of everybody. Am I not going to get how Donald Trump is feeling on this one? I guess Spirit wants to tell me, how does the judge feel about this? So let's change the reading question to, how is the judge feeling about this? I think the judge is feeling like he's given a fair and balanced thing. He's used the pearl of wisdom here on his decisions. He is trying to get the emotions knocked back down again and show a maturity. Everybody got something that they wanted. And he's trying to show that fair and balanced, that he's going to take care of this. In the past, you got the Ace of Pentacles. Again, I've changed the reading though. This is not how Donald Trump is feeling. This is how the judge is feeling. This was about, money. This case itself is a big opportunity for this judge because he's up, I think because he's a newer judge, they have votes to keep him on the bench. This is a big opportunity to boost his career, and he is going to take this very serious-mindedly and very fairly because he has greater aspirations. Current situation is the Queen of Cups. So we go with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. He is trying to hold himself to a very high level of decorum and keep his emotions tamped down. He wants Fani Willis to keep her emotions tamped down. There's probably going to be a gag order. Midas touch. In his ruling, he did not say he was going to issue a gag order, but he wouldn't say encourage, but he certainly suggested that the defense could ask for one. Ms. Merchant could ask for one because I guess Miss Willis and Miss Merchant really got into it. So I think he's really trying to tamp down the temperature on this one. And there could be a partial gag order listed to Fani Willis about talking about this case. He tried to look at things from everybody's perspective. I don't believe he made a willing sacrifice out of himself. Fair and balanced. And if he has to twist himself into a pretzel to look at things at all directions to appear fair and balanced, he's willing to do that. He came through with an offer. I think this card also came through the other reading when I was asking if she was going to leave or not. He came through with the offer that, again, he felt, look at all these cups here. This is a big emotional thing. And I don't mean he's getting emotional with it, but he's trying to tamp down the emotions with it. He understands the PR campaign that's going on. So he came forward with his offer that he felt was fair and balanced on this one. And there's your Four of Swords that came out too in the previous readings. This will calm things down. This will calm things down. And he's put this issue to rest. It's not going to come up on appeal later. And I think that's one of the most important things that he's looking here is he does not want this case appealed. He does not want this case overturned. He doesn't want there to be questions about his fairness or the validity of the case or anything along those lines. So that's what we get from that. The question was going to, and I've talked with you guys about this. I'll ask questions and then the cards don't make sense for the question I asked, and then now that I've got the answer, I have to go back and figure out what question they're answering. Okay, Spirit, are you going to let me know how Donald Trump is feeling about this, or are we just going to... Do we even need to know? We don't need to know. We know how he's feeling about this. I don't need to throw cards on it. He's upset. Why? Because he's not... Let's see. He's not Emperor of the Multiverse. That type of thing. I don't need to read any more on this. We're going to leave it at this point. It's already a long enough reading. Anyways, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this afternoon delight. Thank you for your likes, shares, comments. I'm glad. I was glad I was wrong. I was wrong. I thought he was going to ask Fani Willis to leave. Technically, he did. He gave her the option of leaving. He also gave her the option of staying and making Mr. Wade leave. I have to keep challenging myself to ask more questions about that. My logical mind was right. But I'm trying to detach the logical mind from what I'm seeing on the cards because that's going to lead to a bias on itself. And the whole point of this is to open myself up to those possibilities. So would I consider myself right or wrong? I consider myself wrong. I thought Fani Willis was going to leave, but that's because I was focusing too much on asking the question if she was leaving. If I asked the question, will she or Nathan Wade have to leave, then those cards, that spread answers that question. It's up to me to interpret it correctly. But I wouldn't I'd ask the teacher for partial credit on that one because technically she could leave. But that's not, the probability is 0 that that's going to happen. Anyways, where was I? Oh yes, I was thanking you for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. And to folks just discovering this channel recently, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one.